Hi Year 4, it's maths time again, my favourite bit of the day. Welcome to lesson 2. So today we're going to be learning how to multiply and divide by 10, which sounds a bit easy if we know our 10 times table, but there is a magic trick that happens every time you multiply by 10. Now the first thing I recommend you do today is for you to make your own place value grid at home. All you need is a piece of paper. Just draw the grid like this. Don't forget to put the zeros in, because if there's no number in there, it's a 0. And then you can cut up little bits of paper, put each digit on each one. Don't forget the 0, really important. So you need 10 bits of paper, and then you can join in with this video trying out different numbers as we go along. Once you've done that, we can start multiplying. So what happens to a number when we multiply it by 10? Now, lots of people will tell you just put a 0 on the end, like this. That's not actually right. Because what has to happen first for you to put that 0 in the end is for whatever number you already have to move up into the next column. So this 7 has to jump across to the next column, and now look, there's a space where the 0 can go. So we know that 7 times 10 is just 70. Let's have a look at another one, slightly bigger number this time. We've got 83, 83 times 10. That's not in our usual 10 times table. So let's have a look. We can do it using exactly the same trick as we did just now. We take both numbers, and all we have to do is skip them across to the next column and put the 0 in the gap that we've created. So 83 times 10 becomes 830. Why don't you pause the video here, have a go with your numbers at home on your own place value grid, and see if you can multiply some larger numbers by 10. Are we ready for a hundreds number? And the thing is, I've created a bit of a problem in here for you. I'm trying to confuse you a little bit, because we've got the number 604, but it's already got a 0 in it. So what do we need to do with that? Does the 0 switch over to the end? Or what happens? Well, I'll tell you. It's exactly the same as it was before. Every single time, it's exactly the same. You take all the numbers, you shift them up one, and then you've got your space for the 0 on the end, like that. So 604 times 10 becomes 6,040. Let's try one more time. We've got a 3-digit number here, 291. Now, if you want, pause the video now, and then you can have a go on your place value grid and see if your answer is the same answer that I get. So 291, multiply it by 10. I'm going to take all the numbers and I'm just going to shift them across up to the next column. And then I've got space for my 0 on the end. So 291 multiplied by 10 is 2,910. You see, but I can hear you, what about really, really big numbers? Like really big numbers. What about this? This number here, we've got 4,728,306. That is a big number. So how do we times that by 10? We're only year 4, surely we can't do that. Actually, it's exactly the same. We take all of the digits, we move them all over together up to the next column. So we've got TM over here, that's tens of millions. We're going to have a really big number, so we move everything over, and then we're left with our 0 on the end. So what we've got now is 47,283,060. That's massive. But I do have a warning for you. All your digits when you're multiplying must move the same amount of places and move together. For example, if we look back at the 83 from before, let's find it, here we go. If we look at the 83, we can't just move the 8 over and then put the 0 in the middle. That's not how it works. And the 0 can't go over here because there's nowhere for it. So we have to make sure that we move the 8 and the 3 across the same amount of places. Can you see? They're still together, but they've just moved over, and that leaves space for our 0. There's a reminder here for you as well. When we're multiplying by 10, if we look at the number 10 here, everything moves across one place. And the reason for that is because 10 has 1 0 in it, which does give you a bit of a clue about what to do if you're multiplying by 100, but we'll come to that tomorrow. So when you're multiplying by 10, everything moves one place. But what if we want to divide by 10 instead? Well, dividing is the opposite of multiplying. So surely whatever we do to multiply it, we just have to do the opposite, going the other way. So if I've got 580 here and I want to divide it by 10, I can just take my number, and instead of moving it up to multiply, I'm going to divide. I'm going to split it up, make it smaller, so it goes the other way. So we move it across here, the 0 falls off the end because we don't need it anymore. And then our answer is 58. So 580 divided by 10 is 58. Pause the video here and have a go on your place value grid of dividing by 10. Here's a reminder for you. So nice and easy. You've got your place value grid in the middle. If you're multiplying by 10, if you're timesing by 10, remember it goes this way, so everything moves up. If you're dividing by 10, everything gets smaller, so you're going down and everything moves across to the right. So now I've got some problems for you. Let's have a look at this first one together. I go bowling and I score 5 strikes in a row. Not very likely with me, not that good at bowling. A strike is when you knock down all 10 of these pins at the same time. So if I scored 5 strikes in a row, how many pins have I knocked down? Pause the video, work out what calculation you need and what the answer is. Did you get it? So 5 strikes of 10 pins, so 5 times 10, the answer's 50. So I knocked down 50 pins. Let's have a look at another one. If each child in our school raised £10 for charity, and we raised £4,310 in total, how many children are there? Now this one's a little bit trickier, because what I'm asking you to do is start with the 4,310, and you need to divide that into basically £10 notes. So we need to start with 4,310 and we need to divide it by 10. So use your place value grid to help you. Put out 4,310, divide the whole number by 10, moving it back one space, and see what the answer is. Pause the video here so I don't give it away. Right, let's have a look. So we've got 4,310. If I want to divide that by 10, because each child raised £10, I'm going to take it, I'm going to move everything across one place. The 0 falls off the end, which we can get rid of. And so my answer is 431. And that's approximately correct. We have about 431 children in our school. Okay, last one for today. If the 28 children in Penguin class all have a pack of 10 colouring pencils, how many pencils is that altogether? So we've got 28 children, they've got 10 pencils each. So we're going to need to multiply that to find out how many pencils we've got altogether. Pause the video to work out the answer. Right, there we go. 28 times 10, 280, because the 28 has shifted up to put a 0 in that gap. Okay, your challenge for today is on MyMaths. So I've created a separate video to teach you how to use MyMaths. Feel free to use that to help if you need it. If you need your login details, just email me and I will send them to you straight away. Your challenge today might look like this, with lots of multiplying and dividing by 10. The second part is a little bit trickier. Sometimes, like if you look at this one here, you've got to work out what they started with. So they had a number, they divided it by 10 and it made 13. So you've got to work backwards and work out what they started with. Some of you might have this challenge as well or instead. And this is using your 10 times table. So it's multiplying all these numbers by 10, and then there's a tricky beat the clock game at the end. Good luck with the challenges. Any problems, just email us. See you tomorrow.